Hello, hello. Hello. All right, let's do this. Hello, and welcome to Filling in the Gaps. I am Justin, and that's it. Welcome to my edition of Winter Steam Sales 2018. And yes, we are in day one of the Steam sale. I'm going to do my approach a little bit differently than Darren. We made sure to get his out just before the sale went live. I wanted to do mine a little bit differently. I think you'll see why as I go through, but let's talk about the steps to the Steam sale. As you log on to the site, the first thing that you will want to do is go to the Game of the Year voting. And I say you want to do this because you want to do this before you get involved in the sales, because you'll get distracted. Even though it is always at the top of the sales page, you're going to want to vote on the Steam Awards because you're going to get cards and maybe even get a badge for it, and Darren would definitely be happy if you did. Again, it's another time to just get free stuff, and we often talk about that because we typically like free stuff. Step 2. At the top of the winter sale page is a picture of a cozy cottage. You should click on that. That takes you to the Steam Winter Sale Cozy Cottage, which is apparently full of surprises. It says, in the midst of your dreary winter travels, you stumble upon a light-filled getaway. The owners greet you warmly and happily give you treats of varying usefulness. What does that mean, though? Okay, and they've done a great thing here where they've put the frequently asked questions about this right at the bottom. So you're typically going to get, from what I understand, at least from my first day, I got a knick-knack item, which will be used to earn a badge. You'll get more and more of them, basically. Or you can trade them away if you don't care about those things. I got a wallpaper for Monster Hunter World, I believe, and an emoticon. And we're not exactly sure what we're going to be getting, but it does say that you'll get 3 items a day. You can click on these doors anytime up until the end of January 3rd. So even if you have to go away for holidays or for whatever reason, come back, click on them, get them. Even if these things aren't really worth it to you, they might be worth it to other people. You can put it on the marketplace, you can trade them, you can give them away. It's free stuff. Don't ignore it. Part 3. The sale. I'm not seeing a lot of amazing sales, things that are flooring me, to be honest. But I am seeing a lot of good sales from the past being repeated. And so I think what I want to talk about for my recommendations is more a kind of filling the gaps of your library. There's just a few things that I think if you don't have, if you've been putting them off, now is probably a good time to get them. The first one is BioShock. I don't think this is going to be a surprise to anyone who knows me. BioShock is one of my favorite games. I love all 3 of them. I think the first one for me is always going to be the best, but both the second and Infinite just offer something different and something special. And this is a series where I have not just replayed one game, but I have replayed all of them at least twice. And that is really saying something. It is a game that I constantly go back to again and again. And right now, BioShock is 75% off, making each of the games about $5, or go for that $15 bundle. If you have none of them, I would definitely recommend get all of them, get the $15 bundle, which I believe gives you the extra DLC as well, like Minerva's Den. I think it's just a great offer. I think it's worth it. These are beautiful games. A big chunk of my recommendations have to do with Bethesda, and that's partly due to the fact that they've started their own launch system similar to Steam, similar to EA Origins. At this point, I haven't heard a lot of good reviews about it. I think that perhaps it's not where it needs to be at this point, but that doesn't mean that it won't be there in the future. A lot of the older Bethesda games are still available on Steam. My concern is that at some point, they may not be. And right now, with the winter sale, is a fantastic time to get some of these older Bethesda games if you don't have them and if you want to play them. First and foremost would be Skyrim, and I would definitely recommend get the special edition. It's 40% off right now. It's about $25. This is a bit pricey considering how old the game is, but our typical recommendation is $1 per hour. You will get 25 hours worth of game if you like Skyrim. On top of that, Skyrim has a fantastic modding community. If you ever want to get into mods of games, Skyrim is a definite one you'll want to have in your library to try. Don't believe me? Check out Touch the Skyrim on YouTube. You won't regret it. An older game is Elder Scrolls 4, which was Oblivion. So the same series, a little bit older. The Game of the Year edition is 50% off and it's only $8. It doesn't look quite as beautiful as Skyrim. It's not quite as good as Skyrim, but it is well worth $8. If you want a similar game, but without the fantasy aspect to it, Fallout 3 is a fantastic game. It was a lot of fun. It's one that I will probably go back to at some point. The base game is 75% off. It is only about $2.50. It's well worth that. Or if you do want to get all the DLC, then maybe you just want to get the Game of the Year edition at 50% off, which is now $10. Also good is Fallout New Vegas, which is only about $3 right now, which is 67% off. Or again, you can get that Ultimate Edition, 50% off, about $10, which I believe with New Vegas is about 5 DLCs, which are small stories in and of themselves. Getting away from that, there are a couple of games I would like to recommend simply because they are relaxing and fun. And honestly, simple but good games. The first is Stardew Valley. I'm sure you've heard about it. If you don't have it, I recommend it. It is only 25% off, but that's off $16. This game has never been expensive. At $12, you are going to get your money's worth out of it. Once you know what you're doing, you can play while listening to podcasts or listening to other music or really just be immersed in the game itself. It's a fun thing that you can do in short chunks and do at the end of the day when you're kind of tired. There are also crazy farms that people have created out there. If you don't believe me, just check it out on YouTube. Or the alternative is to pick up something that's a bit more first-person farming, which is Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher is about 50% off, about $10, well worth it. This is a game that is constantly getting tiny bits of DLC or elements added to it, and it is fun, it is cute, it's worth playing. Beyond that, there are 3 games I'm going to talk about because these are ones I'm definitely planning to pick up myself. The first is a game that I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. I believe it's called Chucho, and it is about 40% off, which means it's about $6. It looks like just a really cute point-and-click game that is a very interesting art style, and I'm definitely going to give it a try. Another game is Adam Wolf, which is 88% off at the moment, which makes it about $1. Or for $2, you basically get the complete game. You get all the chapters. So that would be my recommendation. That's the one I'm going to go for. The last game I want to recommend in this section is called Nepenthe. And it is a game that is only about $1.50 during the sale. It is an RPG Maker game, but it doesn't look like your typical RPG Maker game. It looks like it is hand-drawn in crayon, and that alone makes me interested. Beyond that, it says that it is full of dad jokes, to which a number of the reviews have replied that the humor is good and the dialogue is interesting. For $1.50, I'm going to give it a try. The next section I'd like to talk to you about are games that we've discussed and that maybe you haven't picked up yet. Maybe you haven't gotten to listen to that amazing episode of Filling in the Gaps that you were always hoping for. Well, where are they on the Steam sale? Let me help you out. Maybe you can buy some of these games, go back and listen to those episodes you missed. This is Filling in the Gaps for your Filling in the Gaps library. So let's go in order over what we've discussed over the past year. The first is Black Watchmen. It is 75% off, which means it's only about $2.50. It's going to be worth it if you like alternate reality games, if you like trivia. It's worth giving $2.50 a try. The next one on the list is the Talos Principle, which most of you probably have by now. We both recommend it. It's 85% off. It is $3. Get it while it's so cheap. It is definitely worth that. The next game, which is definitely much more my recommendation, is Dead by Daylight. It is 50% off now. It is $10. That's pretty standard for their big sale. I would definitely recommend, if you're interested in Dead by Daylight, this is a great time to get in. It's always a good time to get in when there's lots of other new players, and during a sale is a good time. They just released the Legion Killer pack with new Killer, with new Survivor, and a new map. So that definitely adds to what you'll be getting out of it right now. And they don't seem to be slowing down at any point. So if you're at all interested in Dead by Daylight, now's a good time. Next would be The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Not so much my game, but Darren loved this one. It is 85% off, which makes it about $3. Next would be Grim Fandango. Now 70% off, so under $5. Stacking, 80% off, $2. If you're at all curious about stacking, play this game. Next on the list, We Were Here. But, Justin, you might say, that game was free. Oh yes, that game is still free and still worth playing. And, if you like it, then maybe you should pick up the sequel, We Were Here 2, which is 50% off or roughly about $5. Also worth it. Next, we discussed Limbo, and we discussed Inside. Limbo is about 80% off, Inside is about 60% off, so Limbo is about $2 now, Inside is $8, or if you don't have either one, you can get them bundled for 70% off, which is about $9. They'll save you $1. Obviously, if you're a monthly Humble subscriber, then you already have Limbo in the trove that you can play. Keep that in mind. Next, we discussed Portal and Portal 2. 80% off. Both of them, and both of them are about $2 each. Or, dear listener, you know what's coming. The Valve Pack. Yes, it is back again. It is 91% off. I was extremely excited when I saw the price. If my information is correct, it's about $13, which is kind of insane. I think either Portal game would be worth that, but on top of both Portal games, you get both Half-Life games, you get Left 4 Dead, you get Team Fortress 1 and 2, you get Counter-Strike games. It is a fantastic pack. When I bought it, I think I bought it for about $25, and I thought I was ripping them off. At $13, we definitely are. If you don't have this pack, if you don't have these games, it's always my #1 recommendation on Steam. Next is The Room, which is 75% off, which makes it only about $1.25. And the same is true for The Room 2. So if you don't have the second one, now's a great time to get it, and we might talk about it in the future. Okay, and next is Super Hot. I'm a little disappointed this one is only at 40% off. It makes it about $16. It is a special game. It is unique. It's probably worth that, especially if you're going to do any of the extra challenges in the game, but it's not quite as good a deal as I was hoping to see. Last Will, 70% off, about $2.50. If you like escape rooms, if you like co-op games, if you like games that have replayability because the puzzles change and the answers change, Last Will. It is well worth the $250. And the last one I've got on this list is the Stanley Parable, which is 75% off, or about $4, which that game, if you don't have it, play it. This next section I want to talk about is games that we will be talking about in the future, so you might want to get in on them now. The first is Little Nightmares. This is our episode that's coming up on Monday. It is currently 70% off, which makes it about $7.50. This is a pretty good deal for Little Nightmares. Or you can get the complete pack, which is 66%, about $13. Again, a good deal for this one. The Depths DLC is also amazingly, I think possibly for the first time, on sale, 50% off, a little over $2. The Scarecrow Sack is not on sale, it's $1. The Upside Down Teapot is also $1, not on sale. So I'm not sure I quite have this right, but it does seem like you could buy the Depths on sale, the Scarecrow Sack, and the Upside Down Teapot if you want all of those things, and still spend less than the complete pack. So that'd probably be my recommendation. Or if you don't care about those two skins, then you're getting all of Little Nightmares, the game, for under $10, which is pretty good. We're also going to be discussing in the future the Turing Test, which is 80% off now, and that is about $4. Another one we'll discuss is The Witness. That is 75% off now, which is $10, which is a pretty good deal for that game. And Darren would highly recommend that one to you. And that's it for my episode of the Winter Steam Sales. We did make sure that Darren's episode got out just before the sale started, and that's great. And we've had a lot of views on his. And I know that because I always post second, I'm not going to get the same numbers on my stuff as he does. But in the summer sale, I was able to get one more like than him. And so I would appreciate it if you do me the kindness, if you just give me that like, so that I can kind of rub it in a little bit, because he's probably going to gloat about how many views he has on his stuff. Just saying. So that's it. Have a great sale, and you'll be hearing from us on Monday. Gaps filled, or more gaps created.